Ethan wasn't the kind of guy who chased attention. His pride and joy was a black Nissan 350Z, the kind of car that car people noticed, but most others overlooked. The paint wasn't flawless, the headlights had a slight fog, but the sound was everything. The deep rumble of the exhaust, the hiss of the turbo he'd installed himself, the occasional pop and crackle when he let off the gas. It wasn't just a car, it was his voice, his attitude, his freedom. It was a Friday night, just past midnight. The city streets had gone quiet, the traffic lights flipping from red to green without a single car to stop. Ethan cruised the highway, window down, one hand on the wheel, letting the cool night air pass from the motor out of his car. That's when it happened. Headlights appeared in his rearview mirror, two bright, sharp beams that were getting closer, fast. Within seconds, a sleek red Corvette C8 slid up beside him, riding low and humming like a jet. The driver glanced over. A guy in his late 20s wearing a cocky grin that said one thing without a single word. "Want to see what you got?" Ethan smirked back. His car wasn't built for luxury looks. It was built for excellence. At the next red light, the two cars came to a stop. The city around them slowed its breath. The Corvette's engine revved, loud, thunderous. Ethan gave his Z a few sharp revs in return, the turbo whistling like a snake ready to strike. The light turned green. Tires screeched, engines roared, and the two cars rocketed forward. The Corvette immediately surged ahead, its raw horsepower shoving it down the highway like a missile. But Ethan wasn't worried. He shifted fast, clean, with 350Z's gears snapping into place like clockwork. The turbo kicked in, and the gap began to close. Mile after mile, they tore through the city, weaving through empty lanes, engines screaming into the night. Ethan could feel every vibration through the steering wheel, every ounce of adrenaline pumping through his veins. This wasn't just racing, it was flying. But then just as the Z finally pulled even with the Corvette, red and blue lights lit up behind them. Sirens wailed. Two police cruisers appeared out of nowhere, barreling down the road like hounds that had just caught the scent. The Corvette driver's smirk vanished. He jerked the wheel hard, cutting across 3 lanes and darting up an exit ramp. His car vanished in seconds. Ethan had a choice. He could run, or he could be smart. He lifted off the gas instantly, killing the lights, and coasted into a narrow, dark service road he knew like the back of his hand. The Z rolled silent, the engine barely idling, until he tucked it between 2 abandoned warehouses. He cut the ignition, and suddenly the night was quiet again. He sat there in the road, heart pounding, listening. The cruisers roared past, chasing the Corvette into the distance. The sound of their sirens faded until there was nothing but silence. Ethan exhaled slowly, a grin spreading across his face. He tapped the dashboard, like congratulating himself. "Not the fastest car out here," he said softly, "but definitely the smartest." He turned the key, the engine purred back to life, and the 350Z eased out of the shadows. The city was his again. Quiet streets, green lights, and the soft hum of a car that had just proved once again that brains beat horsepower. And as Ethan disappeared into the night, one thought lingered. Races aren't always won at the finish line. Sometimes they're won in the getaway.